before, when we were only me and Chachi and coach and manager, it was a bit scary. It was like, okay, is it the team ruined or not? And we managed to fix it once. Then Steelback and Fox had to leave. Same for Jungler. And at this point, I didn't expect Steelback and Fox to leave, but it happened. But we were so experienced that this time we were not afraid. We were like, okay, we did it once, we can do it second time. And with the new changes, I'm really happy and I don't regret things.
Gandalf, we're back.
Wizard is never late, Crepo. He arrives precisely when he means to.
I seriously feel so short here. But anyways.
It's such an awkward height difference. But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the European LCS, where UOL is up 1-0 in this two-game set against OG. And I got to say, UOL coming out of the gate strong in day two. Day one, did not expect to see this much of a turnaround here. This is absolutely massive.
Yeah, is it that massive, or does it only look massive in comparison? Because Origen wasn't that good. But props to Unicorns. They drafted a relatively simple composition that relied on snowballing, but they did. And the main man to kind of do that was Exile in the mid lane. Horrible performance yesterday, but he really went off on that LeBlanc. A lot of picks, and that's why we named him
Player of the Game. Of course, a legendary performance in the end there with that final kill pickup on Soaz. Absolutely insane. The team came together to give him those leads, and he capitalized on them so well, finding picks left and right. And
yeah, that made it so that the kind of the last team fight was pretty easy for them to execute. I think we have some footage of that, so we can watch that again, how they close out that final game. But it all kind of relied on the early game, though. That's where they got going.
Absolutely. Built those leads early on, and then were able to transition them into one final successful fight to break that inhibitor and to eventually break the base.
Yeah.
So you can see it here, moving forward, Soaz, he's trying to make something happen. But at the end of the day, keep your eyes on that LeBlanc, because things start happening here in this fight, and there's really just not a whole lot of
just the sheer amount of damage right now on Amazing. That's it. QR, he doesn't even get the chance to use his ultimate. Even if he did, it was down. Hillsign gets like a 3-man combo there, and then Power Eagle at the end is going down. And the thing for me to watch here is that at the end of this fight, you're going to see it right here if the replay goes this long, is Hybrid's going to use his ultimate to kind of delay the Nexus for 2 seconds. And that's the use of that Janna pick here. Obviously, it's not enough. You have one reset, but there's too much CC that's coming to you if you're Origen. Maybe super late game with Mikhail's and some QSS finishes. Maybe then Origen could have shined, but they just got snowballed too hard.
Yeah, and I think just really, really difficult for OG overall. We kind of questioned them for their draft strategy coming in yesterday. In Game 2, they managed to turn it around yesterday as well, though, in terms of draft strategy. Still weren't able to find that win, but we have
It was close.
It was close. A lot of those turnaround moments, and I think... yeah, and I think overall the big change here, something we have to talk about as we just got word from production and from the team, substitution.
I mean, we can see him hopefully soon here too.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, FLICKR coming in for Power of Evil here in Game 2. Maybe it's time for that strong leadership. We talked about it in Game 1, and it looks like that's exactly what Origen have opted to do.
Yeah, players still getting back to their seats. We have 5 Unicorns of Love members in their seats right now. 3 for Origen. They're building their squad slowly but surely. Coming out of the shadows.
They know how to do the dramatic intro, one at a time, building us up to it.
They're just hoping for a crowd cheer, you know. When you send your team out first, and you're like, yeah, guys, I'll follow later. And then if they cheer, you know it's all.
Do you want me to make more mediocre horn sounds for FLICKR's entrance? I think a little fanfare to announce that one.
I think we're capped out. We'll let the crowd do that one. Although I am eager to hear your Vuvuzela rendition, perhaps one day.
I want a kazoo. That's what for broadcast. You never know when you're going to need a kazoo. Of course, looking at both these teams coming into Game 2, we were very critical of OG's draft strategy. But Unicorns of Love seem to have drafted all the components they needed to be successful. Do you really think they changed anything coming into Game 2?
They can change styles if they want to. There he is, Xpaco, coming in.
The people's champion.
People's champion. People have chosen. PoE out. I think not so much the play that he will bring today, but just the leadership, maybe the overall voice, the experience to kind of pivot from these scenarios where suddenly you find yourself behind on one part of the map, and then he can stay calm. Obviously, Game 1 didn't affect him either. When you lose in such a fashion and you're now 0-3 at the start of the split, it sometimes is good to put in a new voice that can then say, okay, guys, like, doesn't matter what happened. This is a new game, new slate. Let's try it all again. A lot of it boils down to gameplay for me. Yes, they could change draft strategy, but if you go back to Picks and Bans game 1, it's not like we were standing here like, oh, they've clearly lost it here. I mean, hindsight is a beautiful thing, and we could change our words, and nobody would probably notice if it's like, Origen, yeah.
It's not like this is recorded and anyone can look back.
Yeah, totally lost the draft here. Totally predicted Unicorns to win.
No, at the end of the day, I think it's Unicorns drafting around maybe their younger team status, some of those weaknesses, playing to their individual player strengths with that LeBlanc pick, taking risks in a draft phase in terms of what's strongest and prioritizing personal comfort. And maybe that's what we need to see Origen do here. Just pick up some champions that can make early impact, that they can snowball the leads, because we know they have strong individual players.
As well with the return of Dragon Focus in the meta, it is a viable strategy to just pick early game power and look to snowball. You have, if you're lucky, some nice dragons that can then bridge the gap in that mid game where normally you equalize the game, but you still get a lead if you have a couple of mountains or infernals. Or you can tear through some towers as teams get better at controlling the map. Especially if you're new as a team, just playing, this guy dies right now, try and kill him. UCC, it's a lot easier of gameplay than it is to do that with 0 CC at all.
Yeah, and it's even if the communication isn't there, the cocoon hits, your team is happy to blow cooldowns to try to find that kill. And especially when you've got so much CC, the Braum, the Elise, LeBlanc for follow-up, all the tools that they needed were there.
And that kind of goes back to the lack of cleanse on Power Evo from last game, you know, the teleport. What did they really accomplish with this teleport? What were they hoping to accomplish anyways with having the TP Orianna? Yes, you can push out, get some sustain and go back, but the first blood right there, that's, I think, honestly was the biggest snowball point because it allowed Exile to get comfort. And for new players on the stage, just getting the safety blanket, the Negatron cloak, definitely helps. It's like if you're a support and you somehow accidentally pick up first blood on the stage and you get your side stone like 3 minutes earlier than the other guys, it just allows you to play bot lane with the same strength. Like your trades are equally strong, but you just have a wealth of information.
Yeah, know exactly when you can and cannot go in. A lot of comfort there overall. And
is the jungler here? No. I can see the brush. It's thwarted.
Nice to have that, of course. Got a lot of attention from the support and jungler as well in that mid lane, and things working out much better. We'll have to see if his LeBlanc makes it through again, or if OG, either want to ban it out or pick something that has a solid matchup. We saw Vladimir with the exhaust yesterday coming in, I believe, to really bust down some of those matchups.
Vladimir, I think, was banned last game. LeBlanc on purple side isn't really the biggest thing. Obviously, Exile now has access to the counter pick in mid lane. Unicorns of Love can unlock some power picks on the first rotation too. We may see Origen draft towards the Braum just to get hybrid on that comfort pick. The counterpart here is that maybe we see Unicorns of Love then say, you know what, we banned Bard last game, let's ban Bard and Braum here. Really keep challenging hybrid, putting him off his comfort champions and see if that is enough of a hit to Origen.
Yeah, I mean, giving hybrid as Bard seems like a massive mistake, obviously. An incredible comfort pick coming in for him, and amazing as well in the jungle. Wonder if he will be able to get his hands on this Elise this time, if we'll see the same priority put down on the Rek'Sai ban, and how exactly they're going to adjust, because you want those go buttons. You want those clear indicators that you can engage, that you can force advantages. Find those picks in the early game, snowball those early leads, and exactly what Unicorns of Love have done, exactly what I would say the majority of teams have done in the EULCS thus far.
Yeah, definitely. We are waiting a little bit, not on that coffee cup.
No, he's got to get it just right.
We are waiting on Expect's keyboard, of course, and his settings. Swapping a new player in takes a little bit longer. Well, we do not mind being on the big screen, talking gibberish, acting as if we actually know what we're talking about.
No idea.
No.
Of course.
What rank are you now?
Oh, God, please don't make me say it publicly. It's not good. Europe is a significantly harder server. That has been my experience.
Has your mental fortitude been tested? The shields of flame?
That was another experience. My favorite part was me and Krepo got to play a game together, and I was like just missing everything, and he would just roam into my lane and give me a kill every 2 minutes on cooldown. Like every time he had a hook, shows up in my lane, and I'm like,
yeah, we did.
I'm so good at this game. I'm like, how could I be this good at Lissandra? I can't miss anything. I'm getting all these kills.
I actually forgot you were in that game. That was, of course, the internal competition of Riot Rumble, where we are now in the grand finals, vying for that jacket.
Undefeated mid laner.
100% undefeated. 1-0.
Excellent KDA stats for me.
Ooh, that's actually, yeah. I hope we see that move, actually, the lantern block. The Krepo.
Oh, yeah. We call it the Krepo if you want. Boost the ego a little bit here on broadcast. But
I've always wanted the name of a play named after me. Sadly, I was never good enough to pull it off because I ended up feeding early game.
No, that is the Krepo. We just don't say it on broadcast because we don't want to hurt your feelings.
That's for other broadcasts. This stretch is 0-3 by 10 minutes. Reminds me. Young Crepo in his days.
Oh, the good old days. Of course, OG still looking relatively comfortable here on
Very
stage.
stern.
Yeah, that's not exactly the face of happiness. So.
That's the face of a man who's going to give it to you.
X going to give it to you.
Forgiven, of course. Star AD carry.
That's how you know. That's how you know we've been standing here for just a little bit too long. We're just trying desperately to quote the same rap lyric every time we get the opportunity.
No, we're done. The reference is dead. We have to move on now to greener pastures or
Champion Select. Absolutely what we want to see. Of course, have to see how they're going to adapt this. This is game 2 between Unicorns of Love and OG. OG now on the blue side. Jungle ban priority remaining relatively the same. Vladimir as well taken off the table. So far, exactly the same from what we saw last time.
some tense background music, really painting the picture. Strong champions being banned out.
This is really intense. I've never noticed the music until you pointed it out.
Yeah.
I'm always so focused on like what's happening on the screen.
Once you're in an arena and you're doing like an analyst test segment, this music is just like hypes you up. Gets you ready for the game.
I wonder if they get it in their headsets too. They're
No.
feeling it. They're feeling the pressure.
They hear a wealth of white noise.
Oh, sad boys. Of course, Rise banned out as well. Incredibly powerful pick.
Yeah, Rise. It seems like everybody thinks it's strong, but nobody wants to play it. It's like, no, we'll ban it. No. We shall ban it for you.
Yeah. We'll take a turn banning it.
Yeah.
And no one wants to play against it, but everyone's kind of nervous about busting it out here.
Yeah.
Of course.
As we stand slightly on the wrong marks, we had to remake the lobby because we were leaning into the screen.
We're like looking at the...
Players were in the wrong order. We figured it out halfway through Champ Select. And
We're doing good.
yeah, we're remaking the lobby right now. Because obviously, top jungle, mid, AD carry support.
Very important. For us, for the audience, visually, everything just gets much easier.
Don't want my stability kind of thrown off, you know. I like my patterns.
You're not going to know where to look.
No. Who is this guy? Hybrid, the new AD carry. Actually, good work because Forgiven practices a lot of support overall.
I don't think that's what's going to happen today. I would love to see it. Probably not in the LCS.
Imagine if you're the AD carry. You're an import, you know, you come to Europe and your support all of a sudden is Forgiven. And everything you do is just like...
It's just the click of the tongue and the sigh every time.
It's like, nah, missed that CS. No, should have traded here.
I feel like he might be a little bit more vocal than a tongue click, though.
No, actually, when Forgiven likes you, he's actually very nice. People have this notion that Forgiven's always mean, but like I've played a lot of games with him. I've done some stupid stuff.
Yeah.
I would literally walk into the enemy jungle, die warding, and I'd be like, yo guys, you know what? My bad. I wasn't thinking. I'm just a retired support player. And Forgiven's like, no. Our mid and top have no pressure. I'm like, no, I don't think you understand. I literally
walked in,
died. I saw the jungler, didn't back off, still died. And it's like, no, Crepo, it's not your fault. Mid and top have no pressure.
That's the level of spin I expect from my true friends. Yeah. Just like, no, you're doing great. It's definitely not. It's totally your fault, but it's definitely not.
It's everybody else's fault.
Everyone
about
else.
me.
They didn't expect you to play that way. You know, they didn't back you up. They weren't ready to TP in just to save you.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of when you miss a hook. It's like, if this guy was good, he would have dodged into my hook. That's actually true, but sadly never really happens.
That's like the mental metagame between EULOs.
We're seeing a little bit of contrast here for people that obviously can't see the lobby. Origen is slowly moving in and out of the lobby. It's going to be a remake again. Unicorns of Love, though, already in the right order, so team synergy on their side is definitely on point.
Yeah, communication issues aside, language barriers on side, top to bottom, they've got the right order. So
yeah, and obviously for people wondering, we go for the same pick and bans that we saw on the screen. Then we'll continue from there. No need to remake everything because we were so not so far into the pick and ban so far.
Yep, just of course the 3 bans coming out: Nidalee, Vladimir, and Rise. Moving forward, waiting for that 4th ban. It's just an extended pick ban phase. That's what the best way to look at it.
Timeout. Is this what we do right now when we bring in these like American casters? Get some of those.
No, you don't understand, Americans. We need intermediate breaks in our sports, just all the time. Football, 30 seconds, we're done.
You run for 45 minutes at a time. No. Timeout.
No football. American football. Stop and go.
Oh yeah, soccer.
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
That word is banned on this broadcast, just so you know.
I feel like there's not a bigger faux pas I can make as an American than referring to football as soccer.
Faux pas.
Faux pas, you like that?
like it. It's very
I'm trying to show that I'm trying to show that I'm cultured because I will inevitably say soccer on the broadcast. I want someone to be like, but he did use faux pas that one time, so he is at least a little bit educated.
This new caster is literate? Surprise.
We've never had that before.
Hey man, I do my best, okay? I this thick Belgian accent I'm trying to get rid of.
Doing good. You do more intensive vocal warm-ups than I do.
We're doing well.
We're doing well. Oh, God.
Batman does good. We do well here on the desk. I
just got the grammatic burn here on the desk.
Still in the lobby, guys.
Living the dream.
Yeah. Delaying the inevitable, which is going to be the game of the season. Truly. That's why we're building up the hype here. It's all in a script.
We actually wrote all these terrible jokes.
Yeah.
That's the worst. That's the worst part.
Somebody actually was paid to write this material.
But here we are. We're back in pick bans. Fans gonna come out pretty quick here to start. Crowd, I completely agree with you. I'm excited about this. Rise banned out as well. Now to the fourth ban. It's the one we haven't seen yet.
Yeah. Surprise. It's Braum.
Coming out. Don't want to give it to Hybrid. No, they're not going to get it for Hylissang.
Do they have room for the Bard ban here? That's what we're wanting for Unicorn. So under the assumption that that's their final ban, and Origen know this, are they looking for a Kindred first pick? They got it in Series 1, or in Game 1 rather, of this series, but they didn't really manage to put it to use.
And after Move's disappointing performance on the Kindred over 2 games on day 1, I don't know if it can realistically be your priority in pick bans, because yes, you're getting something for yourself, but you're not taking anything away.
This is what we would have gone into if they took more time talking. The Trundle ban, I like it, because that's it. Otherwise, Origen was kind of forced to pick the Trundle ban on their own right now. They could actually go for an Echo early pick, and then we need to see Vizicachi come out with a different answer. If not, he may be pressured in the early game by Soas, and more pressure means more leeway and more room to operate in if you're the jungler. And then maybe Amazing can just go for camp to Soa strategy. Expect can hold his own in the mid lane against Exile if it's not a terrible matchup. And maybe that's a little bit easier for Origen.
Fizz coming out, of course, a very successful pick for Soaz in Game 2 yesterday. Despite their loss, still had a fabulous scoreline at the end of the game.
I mean, this is where we maybe would have expected a Kindred, but due to how the game's played out, and as you mentioned as well, Move's performance on it, we may just see an Echo lock in here very early. Bard is also open. Need to see if Hybrid just is challenging. It seems like, no guys, I need the comfort pick. I will do the job. So a lot of picks here, and Unicorns are obviously going to take the rest. What Origen doesn't pick up here in first rotation, Unicorns is going to try and steal that.
And this is such a rough spot for OG to be, because as we said, there's so many power picks left on the board due to all these target bans, and at the end of the day, Kindred is going to be the priority for Origen and for Amazing in the jungle. Yeah,
and this is where we need to see, can Hylissang play that Bard? Because you need to kind of pick it up if your bluff gets called. He thinks so, at least.
Yeah, moving in, of course, Hylissang going to lock that in, as well as the Caitlyn coming in for Veritas in the bottom lane, taken away from Forgiven.
This
Bard
time
taken away from Hybrid.
This time not banned out, but just taken away. So really targeting the bot lane here from Origen, the new members, putting them in awkward positions. Forgiven could go for another Lucian pick, but it's incredibly rough to lane. You cannot play. If you get ahead once, though, with Lucian into Caitlyn, then you can spike, get an AD advantage, and then the culling is enough to win these trades. You just dash in, get a culling in Caitlyn's face, and range advantage is suddenly gone.
You tell a story about getting ahead, Forgiven. Never a man to back down from the challenge. They're happy to try to get ahead in that bottom lane, and will in the end pick up the Lucian. And Soaz, it's his favorite pick. He loves it. Every time it's open, he wants to play it. It's going to be that Maokai in the top lane. So far, very solid roster coming in from OG.
Yeah, I like this. They just need a little bit more forward pressure, something they can also put on side lanes right now. Coming from mid, maybe have something that they can play on the side lane later on. Otherwise, they're opting into very heavy team fight. But so far, they're looking at a strong core, as we said. Kindred, Maokai, Lucian, incredibly strong team fight core.
Yep, definitely.
Unicorns, again, more picks, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The Elise coming in from Move. We saw a stellar performance from him in Game 1. Now potentially saving this final pick from Exile. We have to assume the Echo's going into the mid lane, even though we have seen a few, or top lane rather, even though we have seen a few mid lane Echo games. And OG, quick final rotation here. Going to pick up the Alistar as well as the Azir for Xpeke in the mid lane.
Xpeke blind Azir. That's bold, because we've seen Xpeke's Azir in the past, and it sometimes left things to be desired. But still a very strong pick on this patch. Coming into the season, we thought Rise Azir tier 1, Rise out, definitely pick up the Azir. We saw this head hover earlier as a counter pick. Fizz is out as a counter pick too. Worst case though, we can see the Unicorns just pick up Victor. But the problem is there's too much dive if you're playing Victor right now, the Unicorns. So if you ever, if you not get ahead, then you're gonna have issues. So they're taking a different approach where they say, you know what, guys, we know it. Snowball in the early game or we will get out team fight.
I think rinse and repeat here at the end of the day from what this composition wants to do. You've got the Elise, you've got to support with some nice CC setups.
Lane swap is going to be paramount. Origen need to get out of that Maokai Echo matchup and out of the Alistar Lucian matchup because Caitlyn Bard will murder that 2v2. It's almost impossible to not win that matchup by like 10 or 20 CS because it's so straightforward to play. Like you just hit whatever champion steps up closest, you hit. Eventually Alistar runs out of potions. Bard has infinite sustain because he doesn't get all in really, especially not with exhaust. If he goes out of mana, he just takes a chime tour, comes back 4 or 5 chimes, is 60% of his mana nearly, so then he comes back into lane and he's good again.
Yeah, looking at the way the compositions have unfolded, a lot of power, a lot more focused composition it feels like, and well-rounded coming from Origen, but still some huge weaknesses here between the melee support and the Maokai.
Yes, but at least they have targeted CC to maybe come back into the game, make some picks of their own, or at least force some fights. Last game, they couldn't really force anything. They were at the mercy of a mistake of the Unicorns. Right now, they have their own fate in their hands.
But you know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. Tweet at LOL Esports, hashtag OG win, or hashtag UOL win. I have a lot more confidence in UOL this time around, or maybe you're staying true to Origen and you know they can tie this series up 1-1.
There's just so many cool interactions that can happen in this game. Whether it's the combos that Origen can procure in the mid to late game team fights, you know, with the Azir ultimate and all the knockups and Maokai connecting. Or at the other side, if you look what you can do with Bard ultimate into parallel convergence. You have Exile making picks, Cocoon into Bard stun portals. There is so much room for outplay if Unicorns are playing in synergy.
Something that we're going to have to see.
The Oricorns.
It feels very even in the crowd. Unicorns a love fan. A little bit louder this time around after that first game win. OG fighting back with fan cheers of their own. And it looks like the lanes evenly matched up so far. No one moving for the lane swap quite yet. Yeah. The next minute is going to be massive for deciding the fate of these lanes as Chachi fearlessly running in for a trade. At the end of the day, it's the nerf bat fight though. Not going to see a whole lot of damage going down.
I think we saw a grass proc there from Vizzy Chachi. Need to wait until we see what Masteries is exactly ran later on. Because we've seen some Echoes go for Storm Raiders. Yeah. So, you know, go and get super speed, operating these fights. As opposed to the Grasp for the lane harass, because it got some nerfs overall.
Yeah, a little bit tougher to sustain in that lane, especially against the Sap Magic passive coming in from Maokai. This is what you're talking about. This is what we were scared of. 2v2 matchup in the bottom lane, 1v1 at the top. This standard lane's potentially disastrous here for Origen.
I want to see how Forgiven plays that, because yesterday Forgiven was also stuck in a bad 2v2 matchup, and he called amazing for a lane gank, and we saw Hybrid Q flashing on Alistar, go for a super aggressive play on Mythi's Tahm Kench, but Mythi's jungler, Trick, was in the brush, they got countered, and they lost the entire early game off that play, because they needed saving from a bad matchup.
Definitely could be a rough road. As you mentioned, Graspy and Dying coming out in the top lane. Not going to be the Storm Raiders surge. I think the bot lane is something we're going to have to watch. You can see how forward Caitlyn is already playing on your mini-map as the mid laners just continue to trade this one out. And Hylissang, that hard level 1, man, that's so much damage.
Right now, if they keep playing here, they can do this for literally forever. If they have the cojones to do that. You can proxy your minion wave, and you can deny experience if you play this lane this far up. The only counter to this is level 2 gank. They can literally keep walking up in bot lane Caitlyn Bard. And just challenge CS. So Forgiven, we'll need to see how well can he farm and how well can Veritas manage his wave.
Amazing moving down. Maybe he knows that this is the best option. Cosmic Binding not going to land, but Amazing just moving straight down to the red buff, giving up on clearing out those wolves.
Yeah. Bad trade from Veritas. Obviously, Hylissang is going to ward the brush. He's actually going to invade instead of warding Tri-Brush and maybe getting dashed over the Dragon Pit. He's now just invading the enemy jungle. This does leave Forgiven room to farm though. It's a bold move here by Hylissang. Not sure if I agree completely.
Yep, Smite just comes out. Kindred just going to walk away from that one. Too much mobility already. Starting to get aggressive here, actually.
Oh, he
Does
can
have
die
the
here. He
double
has to
buffs.
flash, probably.
Hylissang, flash goes through, falling through the journey, is going to be able to get nothing. The flash burned over the wall. Amazing, still hungry for blood, though. Aggro's the dragon, knockback,
He's
great
dead.
play.
Flash combo coming in.
Oh, goes in as predicted. First blood, Exile trading one back, but has he overstayed his welcome? Is going to try to deceive, making his way out of here. Has the double buffs at the end of the day, running for his life. Hybrid just waiting for the combo, hoping to get a little bit more. Here comes Moo. No, Hybrid gonna snag that one. 2 for 1 in the end, barely picking that one up.
I love it. I actually want to know if Hybrid, I talked about him earlier today. I was like, why didn't you like go for the WQ flash yesterday? He was like, it's actually a great idea. I actually want to know. I'm going to ask him later if I helped him with that kill.
Oh no, caster bias.
Caster bias. No, that's actually a beautifully executed play here. And we have to go back. I think that was a poor decision from Hylissang. When the strength of your lane is in denying CS in bot lane, like look, he goes for the portal level 2 and it gives him some safety. But Hybrid's already moving away here, collapsing and trying to help Amazing here. And look what he does. W to Scuttle Crab for taxing, Q flash after. Such a beautiful combo here. And then finishes him off. Instant exhaust on Exile slows him down enough. And Hybrid then at the end also has the presence of mind of knowing that one W is enough to finish him off, because Exile has to have his W like nearly ready right here. So close.
Into the cocoon too, doesn't cancel the animation or the damage coming in, so a game of inches there in that exchange to pull it out in the favor of OG. And now double buff Alistar, heals on Lucian. This feels like the setup that Forgiven wanted.
Yeah, and more so Forgiven didn't get denied the very crucial early levels, and he can now Q farm all over, because Caitlyn 1v1 can't deny Lucian very well because he can always dash forward. It's the combined strength of ranged support into melee that wins that trade. Right now we see Veritas getting punished for an aggressive dash.
Exile
Showing up.
moving in, tries to get something, but he's going to have to back off there in the end. Amazing, maybe with a little bit more mana would have pushed it, but luckily the mobility of LeBlanc keeping Exile alive. But this is a very different mid lane from what we saw in the previous game. Exile not getting nearly as many opportunities to make the plays.
And now move. That's what we were talking about. When you're pushed in yourself and you have some vision against you. Oh, he goes for the flash cocoon.
This
Exile's
very
coming.
aggressive. Maybe looking for the change. Fails to predict. Amazing. Not going to be able to make it up in the air. UOL fighting back in the early game.
I like it. He knows that if he walks up, maybe Amazing's not paying attention to get the kill, but again, aggressive flash here from move. This is what we need to see more from him. Just leaving no room for outplay of Amazing. Yeah, fantastic combo. Unicorns, I like the decisiveness that they put into these ganks really overall. Playing together as a team. Exile was already pathing down, so that was definitely communicated and shot called.
Yeah, overall, and I mean, despite language barriers, I don't know what it is for this team, but things are working out. Move, maybe with his time in NA. Feeling pretty comfortable communicating in English on the team, but the coordination coming out for such a young team, very impressive. And Origen, they're making moves of their own. They're collapsing pretty well, but once again, just staying even at this point is you all have a small gold lead, but nothing too much to talk about.
Yeah, now the mid lane matchup is kind of reduced to we need junglers to win it, because we'll never solo kill each other. Double Negatron Cloak in the mirror, so we need a jungler to kind of help there. They can have CS advantage though. Genius poke.
Yeah, you can see laning trading significantly less popular.
Specke getting old.
Maybe missed a CS there, but still a pretty sizable lead over Exile in the end. 52 to 33 for Xpeke. 20 CS lead, only 6 minutes into the game. Exile trying to get some damage though. Peke dash forward is going to get snared in the end. Good trade there, but Amazing here to back up, and Hylissang just going to have to walk away. Doesn't want to bite off more than he can chew.
And Hylissang desperately needs some levels right now. Bard needs level 6 before he can actually do some solid roams, because you need access to that ultimate. If you cast it on a flash that's a 0, it's also super easy to hit. Get back to that later though. A bit of a top lane skirmish here.
Soaz comes out on top at the end of the day with the trade, using his ultimate there.
Soaz learned yesterday not to flash W and Echo. Kiki's taught him that lesson. But that was a Fizz Rodder.
Learned it the hard way.
Don't dash into tower range.
Nope. Where you want to be. Expected taking a lot of damage though. Negatron Cloak keeping him relatively safe. Move. Has to clear out the pink ward there. Doesn't have an opportunity to jump in. Still no flash available. Tank fight.
Yeah.
We're just trading blows here.
This is actually using his ulti to get back into the lane too. See, he's just on cooldown because he was back there quick with full health. That usually means using that ultimate.
Just echo things. Of course, has the Dark Seal as well as the Corrupting Potion here, so pretty easy for him to sustain up, especially with multiple ways to get back to the lane quickly. Exile taking control of the wave. Still behind about 10 CS, but starting to recoup some of the early losses. And Hybrid looking to make a play. Headbutt, pulverize, exhaust, Exile. Where are you going to go? Moving back into his jungler. Move exactly where he needs to be.
Yeah, really bold move here from Hybrid. To actually go for that flash combo. Could have just gotten completely dodged by a W from Exile. Didn't really respecting though.
Oh, Unicorns are on the way in. Turns his sights on Xpeke. Wasn't expecting that one. Chachi looking to grab the kill. Execution. Lamb's respite. It's a little bit too late. Exile maybe hoping to make his way back in. And Amazing is going to drop as well. Hylissang running forward to block off Hybrid. Oh. He's going to get the stun. Scuttle Crab, the MVP of this game. May have worked for Hybrid once, but this time works for Hylissang. This is going to be a long, slow goodbye for Hybrid. Moving forward, stun goes down. Chachi grabs another kill. 5-2 now the score overall.
Yeah, the Skullcrab family combined 2 assists right now. Tied everybody in the game. First, the minion taxi there into Q Flash from Hybrid rather, and now Hylissang with the combo. Really good presence of mind to keep track of that little bugger. Obviously, pretty slow moving.
Calculated, we can safely say.
Let's see how exactly. So here's Chachi with the bait, stuns Hybrid, and then turns to Xpeke, and then the fact that this chain lands is actually pretty impressive from Exile. Yeah, and he gets to jump back.
Weaving it through, hitting the targets. They are just going to burn down Amazing, and like at this point, I mean, the stun comes out. This is the point where Soaz goes, okay, never mind.
Yeah, and it is really smart too. Just at the edge of the hitbox of the crab, so he changes to Hybrid. It does mean that Hylissang has practiced this pick.
I like that. Right as it hits, he starts to back. Of course,
like that, yeah.
Trying to make it out.
Just click it.
Hylissang spending a lot of time in the base, but no better than to chase the bar through that portal. But while all this action is happening,
can he base portal though? That's the next part where we have to judge.
This is
and how long is it going to be?
Casting with. Crab is literally just watching Hylissang right now on his personal monitor. He's like, can he get the base portal?
That's a quick base portal too, because sometimes you spend so much time trying to get that portal along the wall that you could have walked the distance, but you refuse to give up.
You don't want to look like a fool. You don't want to lose to that.
Well, that's too late for that one.
Moving in. Exile starting to do a lot more damage here in these trades. Xpeke hitting back, but in an unfortunate circumstance. Double daggers not really making a whole lot of additional AP coming in. And Exile, once he grabs his blue buff, he's going to have a pretty easy time kind of bullying Xpeke out.
A bit of a shift here in builds too from Veritas, going for both BF and Pickaxe. Not shifting BF into Hurricane, what we usually see from Caitlyn's. They either go Pickaxe Hurricane if they're behind, or they go BF into Hurricane. Infernal Drake being started here by Move.
All this time with Cloud Drakes, I forgot that we could even see these.
What are these mythical creatures?
Why is it red? Why is the dragon red? Oh, Exile. Doing a decent amount of damage there in the mid lane. Dragon will, of course, eventually fall, giving UOL that additional percentage AD and AP. Something they're very happy to have with the Caitlyn and LeBlanc on their team. I'll have to check what the next spawn is going to be, but of course...
Don't spoil it. Let's just let the magic happen.
Let the magic happen. Veritas doing a lot of damage. Hybrid not even level 6. Forgiven. Takes this as a window to get aggressive here, though. He's going to come out on top of that trade individually, but Hybrid really forced out here.
Yeah, good river control here by Unicorns. No more wards by Origen. Origen had some really good pink wards in their jungle initially, but they've been forced to move them backwards. A couple of brushes every time due to the unrelenting pressure here from the Unicorns. Similar story to last game. Unicorns need to keep making these picks here. Exile going in for another dash combo. Peke playing on the back foot. Not being able to return any damage really, because he never sees Exile coming. Really good usage of that pink ward on his right now.
Yep, doing very well overall, but Move now making his way down to the bottom lane. You can see this slow choke out here in terms of vision as UOL just continue to take control of the bottom side.
And he takes a safe path back to mid lane. Yes, he loses 4 seconds, but if you saw, Amazing and Hybrid were lurking around the corner, ready to dash over, get some combos off. So Move really using the vision that he has to safely maneuver and then take away more. He's not getting greedy at all because he hasn't seen Amazing.
QRE looking for the double proc, looking for those chains. Landing them most of the time. Not going to find that one in the end. Move just continues to bully out here, though, just consistently walking to that jungle, maybe not taking camps, but always laying down the vision. And there's just so much control on the bottom side. Soaz, though, I always get excited when I see the twisted advance, and then I do. I'm always like, oh, this is it. They're gonna fight. They're gonna fight to the death, and then
Sweet
walks away.
Summer Child. Oh, Move with the respect flash here. Hybrid's combo was already down because he tried to go for WQ. Obviously, once the repel comes up, you get stuck in the muscle memory. And you fiercely hit the ground. That's about it.
Exile trying to stay in tower range just long enough to proc the chains. Isn't going to get it in the end. But you can see a giant shift in pressure. OG set their sights on the top lane. Veritas left uncontested as he starts to burn this tower down.
It's a good swap from Origen. Yes, they open up the map. They make the lanes longer, which is bad for their composition. But they were getting choked out of vision, and eventually they would have lost control of the map. So it's better to go short-term equal trade against this composition and take the problems later where the map is open. They can still make picks of their own, especially if they leave some lingering wards in this jungle. They can send Soas for a TP flank later on. Peke gets a shield,
nice
really big.
Sidestep. Dodges behind the minion as well. Exile very close to finding the solo kill. Expecting making moves to keep himself safe though. And now OG just grouping up around the mid lane. They want to keep this train rolling. They want to just keep burning down these towers.
Yeah, if they can group unpunished in terms of side lane pushes, it's very hard or nearly impossible for LeBlanc to clear these waves. She has to go in head first. Mana too.
OG just going to back off in the end, however. Amazing, doing what he can to regain control of the bottom side. Gold continues to be in the favor of Unicorns of Love. 2K in the lead at 14 minutes.
Yeah.
Built from those kills, built from those early aggressive moves, but not finding any greater advantages quite yet. Just a game of vision and pressure at the moment.
Yeah, moving up the ward line one by one. This is also the strength of this Bard at least. They find anything cocooning to stun. And if they get spotted, they can always portal out. They don't have to burn their flashes when they get caught in the jungle. That makes it one of the reasons why Bard is so highly contested too, because your aggressive vision game is a lot easier. You can take more risks because you always have a magical journey and nobody...
It's like chasing a cinch. There's just never a reason to go through. Guaranteed to get stunned up. Sometimes I get greedy and either Bard stuns you or there's people waiting on the other side, and either way it's not. You're not killing the Bard.
Yeah, definitely not pretty then. Because you can actually just throw it into the wall. People have this notion that he has to cast it once you get out of the portal. But
fight here. Peke going forward is going to get locked up for a brief second. Now the Tempered Fate.
Q is still down for Hylissang, I think. Yeah.
And Hybrid moves forward. Flash trying to get it onto Veritas. Exhaust coming in as well. Soaz moves in. 80 carry. No hope. OG make the pick. Now moving in mid.
So that would have been a good ultimate if Unicorns still had their cooldowns. But they used QQ and they used the Bard Q very early, and if you cast ulti right after you miss, you will never have it up again. So there was no follow-up, but nobody knew that. They all assumed that somebody would have some CC here in this comp, and then obviously Origen realized it, and they go in aggressive.
UOL not going to give up the mid lane tower, however. Still have the necessary power to clear out these waves. Xpeke, though, happy to have the reprieve in the mid lane. Move getting what he can in the meantime, but the gold still very much in the Unicorns of Love favor. But the fight coming out in favor of OG, just better execution individually there.
Yeah, we have to still remember, if it comes to raw team fighting ability, Origen can be down 2,000 gold and their composition is fine. Like, they can operate under a gold deficit and still come out equal in team fighting prowess. It's just the rest of the game, where it is side lane pressure, the vision game, resistance against picks, that's their weakness.
Of course, move, exile, Veritas. A little bit better this time around. Veritas still struggling. Hasn't shown us anything quite yet, but this is sort of what we expect from the Caitlyn pick.
Yeah, and once he finishes that rune ounce, he can be put in the mid lane on wave clear duty, and it allows Exile to play on the side lane. And this is where the short-term investment from Origen kind of swapping in the map comes to bite him, because now LeBlanc has a long lane. She can pressure it in and then disappear. And with very little vision these days available to support jungle, as opposed to the double side stone meta, it is actually a lot more feasible for these assassins to make picks in the jungle. You can't just ward everything. So you need to operate with less wards, and since pink wards are cheaper now too, your teammates are actually buying them, so aggressive vision denial is more of an option.
Yeah, definitely something that you are potentially looking to do. LeBlanc hiding the brush. They actually know she's there. It was pinged out by Amazing. Maybe looking to make the class, but Exile just going to hop away. Chachi getting aggressive. The stun comes out. They're going to chain it together. There's no hope here. CC stacked. Peke goes down. UOL push in mid.
Flashes into the edge of the turret right there. Follow-up flash Q from Hylissang.
Oh,
sets up for the tower Q.
Hybrid ready to re-engage if necessary. Not going to find the stun from Chachi. Exile on the flank. Maybe they look for something, but the tower already drops. Gold lead extends for Unicorns of Loves. Up 4K now.
Back to the bottom lane. Just keep the team spread out. Don't want to let them group for free. Don't take them head on. Push inside lanes. Vision in between, hopefully. That's Unicorn's bread and butter. They're really understanding this composition, though. talking to the owner right before the game, as we alluded to in game 1, they needed time, but it seems that they practice these type of compositions at least a fair amount, or it just seems to be natural for some of these players. Comfort picks.
And we talk about Hylissang too as, you know, a well-known playmaker on this board, roaming around the map, looking for these stuns. Seems to be very good for him and move. I mean, praised for his vision-focused jungling. Much more comfortable choking out the vision here on an Elise. And 3-0-1, a fantastic scoreline for him as he looks to finish that Rylai's second.
Yeah, and they can rinse and repeat this process. They're still on the nice timeline, kind of the curve you have to play on when you're this comp. Your towers have to be down like by 18, 19 minutes. Expect right here, this is the unfortunate flash here. Slightly angled wrong into the turret. Still gets caught on the parallel conversions, and it's an easy follow-up here. No hesitation on the side of Unicorns either. And as long as you get these towers down, if you're Unicorns, these outers at least, pre-20, you then have enough distance that you can push the Minuets in for to deny enough vision for the Baron. That gives you an easy setup. All you need to do then is synergize your sweeps, move your pink wards, and you can start punishing, especially against Magical Journey. Like, there's more opportunity combined with Journey and Tempered Fate for picks as opposed to the conventional, okay, they walk into the choke, let's kill them. Yep. You have way more pick opportunities from different angles, and it's very hard to play against if you're Origen.
And we already talked about how dangerous losing sight of this team can be. Elise setting up those picks, LeBlanc with so much raw damage, you really can't afford to wander into unknown territory. OG doing the best they can to recoup some of the vision loss here, but UOL definitely own the top side of the map.
The one caveat, obviously, is that there's nobody that can truly tank Baron this early in the game. Obviously hasn't spawned yet. You know, we wait 15 seconds. But
getting ahead of ourselves just a bit.
If Move needs to tank this Baron, he's still pretty AP oriented. So he doesn't do it that well, especially with Unique Echoes. He gets some spellbound from the W, but if the Unicorns commit, they need to be quick, and then they risk getting collapsed.
Oh, Peke Exile, happy to just flash over that wall and find the kill. Makes it out with an inch of his life. Unicorns of Love, the fighting continues. Oh, amazing. Is the Hop going to let him go over the wall? No, Flash going to be burned out in the end.
Yeah. Slightly poorly timed Q from Hylissang, but good reaction there. You can't get hit by the Tempered Fate if you're in Repel. Obviously, when he comes down, he's then fine. So they're helping each other here. But Exile, he looks like a different player today. Yesterday, he was getting all in constantly. Get back to that later, though. Soaz going in.
Veritas getting aggressive here, still alive on the back line. Soaz slowly burning down. He hits that low health point. Exile says, I'll take another one. Chain comes out. Hybrid. Lamb's Respite going to be just that, a brief break before the kills start to come in here in favor of Unicorns of Love. Chachi gives his life. Forgiven grabs one, but the tower is next on the list, and Unicorns of Love look unstoppable.
Yeah, unstoppable in synergy. This guy, that guy, target selection on point. Exile, completely different player compared to yesterday. Really driving home again in this game too. He completely outplayed expected there. Knew the ultimate was coming. I think flashed over it because you can't dash to it, and then went for the play on Peke.
And I was really critical of him yesterday for making what I thought were over-aggressive plays, overstepping, missing the Emperor's Divide, trying to get those Shurima shuffles. But today on this LeBlanc, that same level of aggressive play is working so well. And when he gets these comfort picks, you're right, completely different player. You can see exactly why the Unicorns decided to pick this guy up.
Yeah, and it has to be frustrating right now too for Forgiven. Hitting a really big spike in his build. You're almost into Black Cleaver, but no room to kind of deal damage. These fights are over before they start. Somebody's always picked off, always uneven numbers or uneven vision.
Yeah, and you can see it too as the vision game continues. Unicorns of Love don't have a whole lot on the map right now, but OG forced to use everything in their own jungle. A solitary ward in the river as Soaz tries to clear out this pink, the only site that they have.
Yeah, Origen need to fight up in the open too, because if you look at how they can shut off these chokeholds, Origen, little cheeky bait here. Ward is placed in the Baron pit though, so Unicorns need to put on their best acting hat, act as if they have no vision, and just take control of the map here. Mid lane exposed, baits failed. This is
Echo's bottom lane too.
This is desperation attempts here from Origen.
Soaz finally returning there, does have the TP as this Chachi.
Oh, amazing above them.
Flank, not going to happen. Magical Journey comes out as well. The Wolf Spirit still giving sight of the members of Unicorns of Love.
All right, push in, vision denial, and then they just start layering traps in these choke points. Cutting off the axis, kind of herding the cattle. It's like, yep, this way, guys. Come on in.
Only one way you can go.
Leading them to the slaughter. Taking their precious points.
Of course, OG absolutely do not want to drop here. 1 point in week one may not be the best, but dropping to 0 in the first week could be very crushing.
It is still better in this format to go 0-2 and 2-0 right after. That nets you 3 points as opposed to 1 point twice. So your overall game record, hang on, Peke.
Oh, Chachi, a little bit of moment there. They're not going to find the stun. The chain CC move, perfect timing.
Perfect timing, but there was a trap too. So
okay, I missed the trap. I was like, I missed that timing, and I play Bard all the time. It just comes
call me
together.
hype killer, but yeah, on the Tempered Fate, this is one of the so many interactions that we also alluded to in game 1. Any CC is so easy to follow up on another. You have Cocoon into stun, you have Tempered Fate into either Cocoon or Trap, Trap into whatever, like Parallel Convergence in the midst of that, whether it's zoning or combo. They have so many options right now. And they're looking to stop Origen from contesting this Baron.
Amazing, he made the hero play yesterday. Can he do it again? Moving forward, Baron, 2k health dropping. Unicorns will turn their attention elsewhere. The quick pickup onto Soaz.
Amazing.
Baron's still alive. Move taking a lot of damage. Don't think he's going to drop here. Amazing, stunned up over the wall. Health bar dropping. Hybrid, Forgiven, getting aggressive. He wants to use that power spike you talked about. Amazing, just wants to get the Baron. Lamb's Respite dropping. Time is running out. Unicorns Love, they don't want to hit the purple worm. They'll pick up. Amazing, they'll pick up the Baron. That was beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful communication here. You see so many teams panic when a jungler approaches, like rush it down, rush it down, rush it down. They say, you know what? Don't rush it down. Take out the members one by one. And then give Amazing a big, big hug. He needs it when he puts his ultimate down. Everybody gets more health. Kill him and take Baron out.
And this is an insane turnaround in the quality performance coming in from the Unicorns of Love. Today we looked at the stats lines from yesterday. We're like, these are the worst mid-jungle stats we've seen in a long time. Today, Legendary LeBlanc game 1, 4-1-4 game 2, 5-0-3.
Yeah, and it also puts like Schalke in perspective, because we were saying, you know, is Gilius' tweets finally being backed up by real gameplay? It's like, nah, it was just the Unicorns. But just the Unicorns have now completely dismantled Origen. But perhaps we have to phrase it differently. Have they just beaten just Origen?
Oh, moving forward, Hill is saying that was not
just
at
trolling.
all what you wanted.
That's
just a prank.
just a social experiment.
wanted to test part of Bard's kit.
Hey man, just a prank, bro. Miss my cue, see what you do.
I like that. Good run. Solid. Moving in, of course, the Unicorns of Love, happy to have their third dragon.
I mean, it's great that I get to see that, what happens, what people do when you miss your Bard cue.
Yeah.
Never happens to me.
Yeah. Wow. You can't just lie on stream, Greppo.
There's video footage of that. I like this Juki from Amazing top right, so he knows the cue's coming, but Soaz is melted because there's only one access point here in between the traps. Forgiven's also out of mana right now, and look, they just target people down, move, gets out, they let the Baron do their, like, help them. Forgiving can't enter the fight. Everybody goes to hug Amazing here for the help off the ultimate, and then Baron goes down. Very clean and well executed Baron play by the Unicorns.
Yeah, incredible confidence, as you mentioned, not panicking whatsoever, as so many younger teams often do. At the end of the day, we saw Forgiven. I mean, he's so scared of that LeBlanc that the second LeBlanc runs forward, he has to dash flash out of that area. He cannot afford to be anywhere near her, and with no mana, he can't afford to put out, or he doesn't put out any damage either.
Yeah, OG looking for a hand to play here into the trips from Unicorns. One of each. Technically not trips then.
Yeah.
The
Three
dragon,
of a kind.
Yeah, it's not the kind.
I know.
It's the poker of dragons. Sadly, that's as far as we go. Maybe with the Elder, you can get 4.
Do we call it the Royal Flush if you get the Elder? I think it has to be...
Is it a flush?
It's not really a flush. It's not really equatable to poker. We only have 3 types. We can get 3 of a kind. That's like the most we can hope for.
And then when we do, we rank them in power. Cloud being the first, of course. Everybody loves their Cloud Rakes.
Reminds me of better days. It's a whimsical dragon. Of course, Exile just really taking his time here. Minion finally going to drop there in the end.
Every Cloud Drake has their silver lining though, because if you can get like 3 Cloud Drakes, it means you're in control of the game. And you also opted to take down 3 Cloud Drakes, so you opted to waste your time. That means you must be up a lot of gold.
Yeah.
You actually have time to, you know, instead of farming jungle, actually kill a Cloud Drake. It's an indicator that you're snowballing the game.
Well. Of course, Inhibitor going to drop. This is the point where games really start to break up and the pressure really starts to fall on OG. We haven't looked at the gold in a long time, but that is 54,000 to 41.7. Unicorns of Love, after getting dominated yesterday, are coming back today and they're making a statement. And for OG, this has to hurt.
Yeah, just a couple more kills, closing them to a 15,000 gold lead here. The Unicorns. Yeah, complete snowball.
Of course. Moving forward. Nice. Now jumping in here. Chachi continuing to move in, look for more pressure, split pressure across the map as the super minions start to push in on the bottom side of the map. And OG, what do they do here? The gold lead is massive.
I mean, you wait for a mistake. So if you look at what the play here for both these teams is, Unicorn is more of what you're doing. Obviously, as you push in with these split pushes into the base, Origen, they get condensed. So the distance between the lanes reduces. So they can travel a lot quicker, you know, from bottom mid to top, etc. So you have to be a little bit more careful. Also, you no longer have deep vision because you can't get wards into the base. So that makes the push a little bit harder. Also, you need to kind of, the fixture kind of calls it holding hands as you push in. Every wave needs to kind of hit at the same time. So then when people react, you can win these skirmishes in even numbers, 3v3, 2v2, and you look for the Bard ulti. People always hug their towers, so a Bard ulti on the tower right here is a triple stun that you can build then. Obviously, Origen, they want to be grouped too. They want to go for these team fights, but it's so hard for them to make a move. All these traps, defensive options here. EULCS2 can portal out. Look how he's always playing near a wall. Exhaust is ready too. It's so hard for Origen to break out here. Unicorns going into a 4-1. They want their tank next to their Caitlyn for peel. And then LeBlanc is just looking to flank here on Forgiven. And so Forgiven is right now playing to the bottom side. That leaves top side exposed, for example. So many options here.
Chachi getting aggressive here, tanking up the tower. Will just hop out of that headbutt. No pulverize burn from Hybrid in the end. But amazing, taking a lot of damage as well. Veritas hitting hard from the back line. Chachi getting aggressive. LeBlanc not going to follow through. Tempered Fate does drop, maybe looking for the fight, but the CC's been split up. Hybrid looking to make this happen. 3-man headbutt pulled. Chachi, will he drop? Amazing, so low, but staying in the Rams. Respite, jump forward from move. He's gonna grab one. Moving forward, there's just not enough power on the side of OG. Unicorns of Love grab 3 kills in an instant. They're ready to end the game. Peke trades one back, but what is it worth?
Yeah, Peke managed to stall a little bit here. One inhib falls though. That's the second inhib down here for the Unicorns. That was the perfect counter engage on even gold. That would have been it here. Is it Chachi based? Exile based rather. He's coming in with the teleport. Now Chachi's coming back to 1 TP, 2 TP. Exile low.
No, he may have stayed too long. He has to flash to safety, but Chachi's still so strong. 16 stacks on the Magi Soul Stealer. Forgiven, though, is not afraid. He's just going to dash forward, but one inhibitor left. One Nexus tower. Yeah, all that stands in the way of Unicorns of Love ending this game.
And that's it for Origen. 2 open inhibitors. Unicorns have already showed that they can take patient control of the map, move up the minion waves, the ward lines slowly but surely, and then isolate these objectives, take them down. Right now, with 2 pushing lanes for free with these inhibitors down, it is even easier for them. Only Hubris can take down the Unicorns at this point.
Not a team we expect to do as well, but they are pulling it out. As you look at this replay, you can see how well coordinated this is.
Yeah, Tempered Fate splits up the fight. And this is really good reaction here because all the damage is going on the main tank. It's a team fight. There's a 3-man pulverize. Peke managed to scoop in. Amazing. Draws the aggro too from move. So technically this is a really good fight for Origen. They just are too far behind to even win a fight with this setup.
And this Baron that you can see in the picture-in-picture finally dropping. Probably going to be the death sentence for OG here. We're waiting. If Unicorns of Love play this out, there's not a whole lot of hope left.
Yeah, Guillotine is ready here. Some heads will roll. We need to look forward now. What is Origen going to do? They've drafted compositions that are very teamfight oriented, or at least require everybody to be in the same place on the map, it seems. Very heavy teamfight comp here, where everybody wants to group up. No 1-3-1 split push. Some of their former strengths. Back in the day, even when Expected played, he was good in it. Soaz can play that style too. But they don't manage to really group up efficiently because they're getting pressured all over the map and picked off. Same yesterday when they played versus G2 Esports. Their composition relied around grouping on a turret.
And Tempered Fate, this could be the last play. Peke locked up, Lamb's Respite, a brief break for the team. He's running to safety, but Chachi on the front line is relentless. Snap back, looking to grab the kill onto Hybrid. So as potentially next as the members descend upon this one. Unicorns of Love absolutely destroying Origen in one final fight. A kill traded back. They can't be stopped. This tower is going to drop. Unicorns of Love, a stellar performance, moving up 2-0 against Origen. Have to be proud of that game.
Definitely a surprise here for the Unicorns. Did not expect that 1-1 maybe, but the sheer amount of talent on Origen's roster you would have expected more. If you look at the players they have, and yeah, we can see how hard it hit them. Unicorns, they get to cheer again, something we didn't honestly expect here.
Yep. Hard fought on the side of Unicorns. A well-earned victory. OG not happy to start the week off this way, but there's plenty of time left to adjust, but clearly some things need to change on this lineup.
I mean, the comp looks simple, right? Okay, guys, we don't have much synergy. Let's just group up a team fight, but they never get to that phase. Everybody gets picked off before. They lost their main shot calling component in Mythi, who had a good thing going on with Sven, and they're recovering from it.
Yeah. You can see, I mean, Unicorns of Love feeling really great after that one. The imports, very questionable on day one, but coming in, playing strong overall, get their time with the adoring fans. And we got to say, I mean, if Unicorns of Love keep up this level of performance, they are looking like a strong team
Still
once
getting
again.
used to the stage. This camera's not on, by the way, so you guys are fine. Almost tried. You were so afraid of walking in the shot here. I wanted the high five too. We've never been this close to
I
the
know,
high
we can
five line
get
of
the
the
high
crowd.
fives. Come back.
Next time, I'm just gonna shout. Vizichachi, if you win one more time, you can actually high five me.
No, you're not cool enough. Everybody's ignoring you. Who is this kid?
Jesus Christ. Stupid casters. Think they can play the game. Master players.
Gold 2 players. We, you know.
The biggest disappointment for me, though, is the lack of pink hair.
Yeah, day
Yesterday-
one. Was that the problem? Is that like your training vest, you know, your weight vest, like 150 pounds, you take it off, suddenly you're unstoppable?
150 pounds of hair dye? Is this in Naruto?
I'm sorry, 75 kilos? Is that what you wanted to hear? I'm struggling with this.
Yeah, if you think 150 pounds and 75 kilos, maybe that explains your
Yeah, I don't have any idea how to convert that.
your overzealousness in the gym.
It's been a learning experience.
You'll get used to the actual system that makes sense, the metric system.
I'm not going to argue that it makes more sense. It's just not the system I've ever used.
Anyways, back for a little bit to the game. Impressed with the Unicorns. Exile, completely different players. 2 games on LeBlanc. If there was a player of the series, he would be it.
Yep.
For player of the game, there's a lot of candidates here. I think Hillesang did a lot of great things here.
Yeah, I mean, impressive play, move as well, continually. I mean, the flash cocoon coming down from Exile, the team coordination there and the communication, pretty stunning performance, no pun intended.
Yeah, the Flash Cocoon really was a turnaround because they went a little bit over-eager. Unicorns, got punished, and he stopped Amazing from snowballing there. Amazing had a ward in the brush, so did Move. Move knew that, so he didn't leave anything, any room for counterplay. Just Flash Cocoon instantly Exile, communicated, came down to. Very impressive from the Unicorns.
Yeah, picking up kills left and right. Once again, a game about picks. They built a composition around it. They executed it incredibly well. It's not insanely complicated, but still at the end of the day, we have to praise them for their execution. And OG, they tried to play around their team as well. They tried to play for those team fights to say, we don't have that synergy, but we have strong players. Let's group up and fight. And as you said, never, ever given the opportunity, not across either of those games.
Yeah. Definitely expect as a 0 as well. Did some things right, but then he felt like pressured in as well once Exile kept going. The early pickup was nice from Origen. We finally felt like a team once he started coming back. Managed to punish that pick off in the jungle that Hillesang was trying. That was a little fishy, you know. Level 2 Braum, moving in, challenging a Kindred. Like, we know how much damage Kindred does.
Yeah, and exactly. And giving Kindred those early kills can be so disastrous, too. She's able to grab stacks in multiple situations. And that risky gambit obviously didn't pay off, but they continued to make really aggressive moves.
See, the cool thing about that is they tracked the summoners. Like, Move I don't think would have ever went for that Flash Cocoon if Amazing's Flash was up, because then he would have rather taken the gambit of moving to the brush and going for the Cocoon as well, hoping that Amazing's shopping instead. But really, really smart tracking of cooldowns. They seem to be on the same page. Way different Unicorns today.
Yeah, and after a stellar performance from Unicorns, we have to be wondering how they feel about it. So we're going to toss it over to Pyrotechnics, who's sitting down with Exile to talk about those wins.
Thank you very much, Steve. I'm joined by the mid laner from Unicorns of Love. First off, welcome to the LCS. You've had a week under your belt now. So you have played a little bit in Challenger in the past, go a little bit further back, but this is your first week on the big stage. How has that affected, how has that changed the way you've played from going from being in ranked in the ladder to on the big stage now?
The mindset changes a lot actually if you play in a team or if you play solo queue, like different picks and different team styles. And it also differs a lot in terms of how to play the game basically. Because solo queue is quite a lot different with competitive, so that affected it quite a lot.
And notice there was a lot to do with communication. Yesterday, you guys looked fairly scattered. It was a rough start, obviously, against Schalke, but you really picked it up today against Origen, and you in particular looked incredible. So tell me about how the impact of this 2-0 turnaround maybe affects you as a player and how you on this Unicorn squad is going to look forward to the next couple weeks in LCS.
Yeah, yesterday was quite a messy day, and I also played really bad yesterday, but it's like past, and we look forward. We have like 32 games left to go, and we try to make the best out of it and try to win every game.
Well, it's certainly off to a good start, at least today for sure. In the environment for the Unicorns, a lot of people talk about this Unicorn squad as having a very, very good backbone in supporting their players, making sure that they have a comfortable and good environment to learn and grow. Have you already started to see that? How much is there to that?
The team environment and stuff overall is like really, really friendly, and they have me with like everything in life, basically, that I have like now, because it's quite different with before, because like now I'm in the gaming house. And yeah, it's like, I believe it's probably even the best organization in terms of that in the LCS.
Wow, it's good to hear. I'm glad you're in a good place and looking forward to how you play for the rest of the split. Last question to you though, Exile. You got to play off against 2 mid laners today. First Power, then FLICKR. Everyone talks a little bit about the switching out, and maybe it's a mental thing for Origen. But do you notice a big difference playing against these different mid laners in this matchup today?
FLICKR plays a different style than Power of Evil, of course. And I respect both mid laners. I think they're both really good. And basically, I didn't really change my mindset. I was trying to play with the team and to concentrate on that and to get good results out of it.
I certainly showed that up today, absolutely. Thank you once again for joining me, Exile. Welcome again to the LCS. We, however, are going to take a quick commercial break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in 3.5.
Hybrid moves forward, flash, trying to get it onto Veritas, Exhaust coming in as well. Soaz moves in, 80 carry, no hope.
If Unicorns commit, they need to be quick, and then they risk getting collapsed.
Oh, FLICKR, Exile, happy to just flash over that wall and find the kill. Forgiven, getting aggressive. He wants to use that power spike you talked about. Amazing. Just wants to get the Baron. Lamb's respite dropping. Time is running out. Unicorns love. They don't want to hit the purple worm. They'll pick up. Amazing. They'll pick up the Baron. Unicorns of love absolutely destroying Origen in one final fight.